What's up, everybody? I'm Brady with Cathartic Movement, and this is the Cathartic Awareness Interview. We're here with
Carl Christensen.
Let's see what happens. I'm here with Carl. How we doing, Carl?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Doing well. Just sitting here. We got some tea, some brewskis. Cheers to that.
Yes, yeah.
Thanks for coming out here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Do you want to start by telling everyone about what you do?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Carl Christensen. I am the leader of the Flora band, and we are a Yallternative band from right here in Seattle, Washington.
And what is that on your hat?
Coopers.
What's that from? Where'd you get the hat?
Coopers is sort of the Rainier of a section of Australia. And I was in Australia playing at a music festival. It was my day off. I was done playing, and so I was just like attending the music festival essentially that day. I went up to the Coopers booth, and I was like, "Hello, I would like one beer." You're me, and I'm the guy working at the Coopers. We got this. Okay.
Sir, what kind of beer do you want? I've asked you 7 times.
Wait, no. You're me. You're asking for the beer, and I'm the guy at the. I'm the guy.
Okay.
Okay, now we got our roles straight. All right, and scene.
Well, I see that there's the Founder's Libelea IPA over there, and I'm curious if that compares to the Alaskan Aralaba.
If you get 2 beers, you get a free sun hat.
Oh, shit. I'm in. I'll get them
That's
both.
exactly how that went. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was like, if you get 2 beers, you get a free sun hat. And I was like, shit, if there are 3 things I need right now, it's 2 beers and a sun hat.
Yeah.
So sign me up, baby. And that was before I was really even like making country western or alternative music. Like I was making kind of just like emo folky stuff at the time. And then the cowboy hat entered my life, and then the pandemic happened, and I got really into Ken Burns' country music documentary. I felt very spoken to by the Ken Burns country music documentary, and then I already had the cowboy hat, so I was like, well, when life paints a path like that for you, you just lean into it, right? Yeah.
And you got the Rainier glasses, too.
Yeah, we're branded up, baby. We're going to get a beer sponsorship no matter what happens, I swear to God. The hat's been a consistent mainstay throughout my entire career at this point.
And it probably took your entire career to grow the beard.
Yeah, the beard's been coming in since like 2015,
Damn.
Honestly. I've trimmed it back a couple of times, but I haven't gone clean shaven since high school, and I think I'm the better for it. Honestly, yeah. The last time I went, there's still photos of me in high school clean shaven, and it's like,
Do you want to send any over? We can put them on screen.
No, I will. I don't want to, but I will.
Okay.
Yeah, it just because it's worth for posterity. It's
if
worth
Carl's
seeing.
A man of his word, it'll be right here. Let's find out.
Yeah. So I had a different pair of sunglasses for the first probably like year and a half of the Flora band's existence, and they were like circular John Lennon type sunglasses.
Okay.
And for a while that was the look. After a show, I dropped them or something, but one of the lenses fell out. And then I volunteered at an event put on by the Tractor Tavern, one of my favorite venues. And it was a fundraiser for trans youths across America and that sort of thing. And it was sponsored by Rainier. And so just like they came through and gave all the volunteers like Rainier branded sunglasses. And that's what I'm wearing now.
All right, so Cathartic Connection. This game is to help us talk about random things that we might not enter in conversation. If you come across a question that you don't want to answer, just go ahead and sing that singing bowl.
Okay, damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Share a valuable life lesson you learned from a bizarre or unconventional source. When I was about 8 or 9, my family did this. I don't remember what it was called, but the idea was that you would ride in a covered wagon from campsite to campsite. I have a very vivid memory of being at one of the campsites waiting for more people to show up, and there was this old indigenous guy. And he said he was indigenous. I was 7. The guy could have just been Italian, I'm taking his word for it that he was indigenous. And I was trying to build a fire, and I was struggling because I was a stupid, dumb kid. And he helped me build this fire. And then he was like, listen, man, Native Americans will build a small fire and get close to stay warm. White men will build a big fire, stand back, and get cold.
Interesting.
And that ethos and that moral I found has applied to a lot more than just fire building. building.
Interesting.
You know,
I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
That's
I think
really
particularly
wise.
Americans do have this. It is really wise, right? Like, yeah, I think Americans in particular have this.
With like food, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all there's this drive for excess in our society that sometimes just excess for the sake of excess can actually like take away from what you were trying to get towards. And I do remember that night, that these guys came into camp and then built this like enormous fire, and then everyone was standing way far away from it and it got cold, and I was like, damn, this came true less than 6 hours after this guy like prophesized it for me.
I think there's a lot of lessons that different cultures can teach us that maybe in opposition of how we were raised. And I think there's a lot to do with tradition that both questionable and there's something to it. In different lanes, I think any new information is something to be considered at least. I found a lot of solace and a lot of peace in the mentality of like taking only what I need and trying to use everything that I take, you know. I'm gonna draw a correlation to music, and then you should as well. My correlation that came to mind was building a mix. If you want to just keep adding more and more and more and more, it's super fun. Just like a big fire. You can't hear a single thing. But big fires are fun. Yeah, they are. Our analogy or metaphor here would then say whatever message you were trying to communicate with whatever the initial goal of that song was probably going to get lost under the layers of production that you're throwing on top of there. Just like layers on 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 layers. Super fun. Not always the most like direct point from A to B, you know? Yeah, we're effective, you know? All right, should I try a red one now? Let's do it. Are these this gonna like ask me my kinks or some shit? It's actually show your genitals on camera. Damn. Just there's like 100 of them each one. Nice. What's a belief you held in the past that was so strange or unconventional that it took you years to outgrow? Dang. A bit of lore here. My band is Carl Christensen and the Lake Flora band, and it's named that because Lake Flora is the lake that I grew up going to summer camp off of. I went to this like very like hippy dippy bohemian granola socks and sandals tie-dye type of Bible camp. It was like, as opposed to, you know, here's the Bible, here's what it says, here's what it means. The structure was, here's the Bible, here's what it says, what do y'all think it means? And then like as like 14 to 17 year olds, we just like did group discussion and hashed it out. Seems like we need a little more of that. The belief that I suffered isn't quite the right word, but like I believe that's how all Bible camps were. Like I just didn't know that that's not how things were in the rest of the world. Like I thought that was like a pretty standard Bible camp experience. And then like I got older and people compared notes on their different Bible camps, and I was like, oh, like that was way different. Like that was way different. But also like checks out. Like like you see the person that I've like grown into. Like this is the result of an abnormal Bible camp, you know? Normal Bible camp did not produce this. Tell me about one of your patches or one of your accessories. Choose your favorite patch and I'll give you the backstory. Okay. The red balloon grabbed my attention. Oh first. Yeah, shouts out. That is my main man Henry Mansfield's patch. You can edit that out, zooming right? In on that one. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, of course. You should. But no, Henry and I go way back. We've been doing music together since like junior high. Okay. And he had an album that came out in, I want to say, 2018 called North From Here. The thematic art that went along with that involved a red balloon. Okay. And the album cover is like an astronaut walking on the surface of the moon, presumably, and there's a red balloon kind of put into the background that has all sorts of, I don't want to speak too much on Henry's behalf, but there is a lot of symbolism and a lot of meaning towards like the red balloon. He then translated, put on this patch that says, I am not my insecurity. Thanks for sharing that. That's cool. Of course. Thanks for asking. Is there any events that Mr. Tim Alberto can go to right now? Tim Alberto? Yeah, he's at his computer right now. Oh, it's past his bedtime, but he's trying to find out where to come see you. Chop Suey on March 14th. It's a Thursday night. It's my band, this kind of also Yallternative band called Trask, and then this producer who works with a bunch of rappers named Wave Dash.
And he raps a little himself, but he's gonna kind of treat it as an opportunity to platform a bunch of rappers who he's worked with. There's a golf bar in Capitol Hill that we're doing a 420 show at. That might be a free show. I don't know off the top of my head, but again, that's gonna be a weird as fuck show because A, it's 420, B, it's at a golf bar.
What's the most influential album that you've ever listened to?
Oof. Ever? Damn, that's really tough. Can I give 2 answers? Is that fair? Because just like from different points of my life.
What do you think?
That's what I did.
Okay.
All right, cool. If you had asked me in 2019, I would say Illinois by Sufjan Stevens. Yeah,
nice.
Which is still killer record. One of like my top 5 greatest records of all time. At that time, I studied classical music in college.
Interesting.
And I was really into like singer-songwriter blended with contemporary classical music, and that's like what Illinois did like perfectly. It's like, Philip Glass mixed with just like a folk singer, and it was super 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 influential on me. But then like when the pandemic rolled around, I kind of abandoned classical music just because it like requires so many people to do.
And the cowboy hat
the cowboy hat came along. Like it was time,
Yeah.
I might go back. I have this kind of pipe dream of doing like a contemporary classical country record at some point, like the high art country music sort of thing. But that'd be a couple years down the line. At this point, I don't really have like it's right now. I just kind of want to play music with the band and focus on that and not really think about expanding it into like anything contemporary classical. Right now, probably the most influential record in my life is by an artist called Adeem the Artist, who is from I want to say Tennessee. He's from somewhere in the deep south, but I can't remember off the top of my head. My gut is saying Tennessee, though. They are this kind of strange, like non-binary country western person who put out a record called White Trash Revelry that has some of the most like, it's all very classic country sounds, but it has some of the most unique and it's like one of a kind storytelling to it that's just sort of about like the intersection of like redneck culture and queer culture, but not, you think that's going to be like in conflict with one another, but from all the stories that Adeem is telling, like that's actually like working, like that's working in harmony with one another. And it's just a really interesting and fascinating perspective to gain and have all the stories be told through the medium of like country is it's really really cool, and it's just some really incredible storytelling and some really clever wordplay, just all of the good things that you look for in a quality singer-songwriter are present there. So yeah, that's the answer. That's my 2 cop-out answers to one question.
That's a good answer. It's hard to come up with that.
Yeah, thanks.
You're gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, damn it.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna think of something like, oh no.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a hard answer because there's so many different influences that we have and that we enjoy at different times.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll also give a quick shout out to Willie Carlisle because it's a close second for me right now. Also a Yallternative guy, but yeah, whatever.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, Carl, thanks for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Cathartic Awareness interview, and go check out his shows. Let's see it.
Woo!
Cheers.